everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm planning with this kit from JKCreatesCo called Self-Care. It's a B6 kit. It's kind of an anytime kit, but I decided to use it because it's got silver foil. So yeah, let's get into it. So this week I kind of wanted to focus on a self-care topic that I am working on currently around transitions. So transitions is transitioning from one space to another is a concept that my executive coach and I have been working on to try to bring, more kind of peace, ease to my life. And so transitions in this case means thinking about ways to move from work to home, or transition from waking up in the morning to getting ready for work. And in her mind, the kind of value of transitions or building them into your self-care routine is that they help you kind of unwind and move from one space to another, especially in, pandemic days where we're not really changing location very much, meaning we're all, working from home. And I was a little bit skeptical, of course, of this concept at first because I'm I'm still going to be in the same headspace no matter if I try to do these transition rituals or not. But it really, I think working on them has kind of helped me see the value of them. So my biggest my first, port of call with working on transitions was transitioning from work to home. Now, this is important for me because I feel like I tend to carry stuff from work into, my home life. And obviously, even if you shut the laptop at 4:30, 5 o'clock, you still feel like you're still thinking about work. You still feel like work is weighing on your mind. You still feel like, I'm spinning on work for at least a couple hours after work is over. And so a transition for me would help me get out of that I'm thinking about work headspace and get into, I'm thinking about home stuff and I'm not thinking about work. An important thing for me to kind of even bookend this transition was to set up systems where I don't get interrupted with work stuff when I'm fully transitioned into my home mode. So I have started using this thing on Apple called a focus. It's kind of a blessing and a curse because it switches foci based on your location. It's picking up these context clues. So sometimes it switches into a particular focus and I'm like, I don't need you to be in this right now. I need you to be in the other thing. But I set up a personal and a work focus such that all of my work apps are on one page, and personal keeps me from swiping to that page. Occasionally I found myself swiping into the view where I can see all the apps and sometimes clicking on work stuff, but I'm really trying not to do that. So I put that focus in place. I also have set my working hours to 9 to 5 each day, which means if people try to schedule stuff with me outside of that, they'll get a bounce back. Similarly, I set my Slack as a way so people won't reach me, and my phone won't notify me then, so I don't get any of those interruptions. And the focus, I think, overlays that, but I just turn off my Slack notifications after 5 just to be safe. So in terms of actually transitioning, I shut the laptop. I'm fortunate enough to have a dedicated space in my apartment rather, where I can work. So it's in a second room. So I will shut my laptop and then I put my computer away. So it goes into this on the shelf that I have in there, and it's there until I pull it out the next morning when I go to work. The next thing I've sort of been thinking about is how do I just get my body out of the space of okay, I'm working. So I have decided to start taking a warm shower or a walk or both as a transition space. There are days where I have between work and the gym and my like meeting schedule, I don't get, but 15 minutes to shower, in between meetings and all this. And it can be really, really hectic. And I hate those days because I am one for a relaxing hot shower. Like that is, that makes me feel like a new person. I often come out of the shower being like, I feel like a human being again, So I have built into my transition routine, either taking a shower and then going on a walk, or if I've like already showered earlier that day, going on a walk. Now this walk has to be accompanied by a podcast that has nothing to do with work. And I'm looking for kind of new podcasts, meaning not re-listening to old episodes of podcasts that I've heard, or not listening to my usual ones, so that I can kind of take my brain out of this like routine space. I don't know about you all, but sometimes when I'm listening to things that I like have listened to a lot, or that I watch TV shows that I have watched a lot, and I'm a serial rewatcher and re-listener, that my brain just goes somewhere else entirely. Like my brain completely tunes out the thing that I'm watching or listening to and focuses on whatever thing I'm like stressing about. So having a new episode of something forces my brain to kind of pay attention, and again keeps me from like going back to those work thoughts of like, oh man, I got this thing to do, etc. I've also noticed that a big thing that plagues me with work is feeling like I've forgotten something. So I forgot to mention this, but one thing I do at the end of each work day is do a brain dump. So I shut my laptop, I open my notebook. I actually want to get like a tablet or something where I can start writing all of these things down and like keep them in the same place, because my notebooks, I have a couple different notebooks. Like I have one for personal executive coaching, I have another one for work, I have another one that has like my planning and general to-do stuff. I want to like consolidate them all in one place. But I'll usually open a notebook. Sometimes I put my work notes in my personal notebook and vice versa. Like it's just, yeah. Again, I need a unified solution, but I'll open a notebook and do a brain dump of like, here's everything I need to remember for tomorrow. And also shut that notebook and put it away. So like, I've noticed that, sometimes I tend to go back and I'm like, oh crap, did I forget to do this, I should do this. My brain just like goes on autopilot with work a lot. And so I'm trying to get out of that. So far I've tried this shower and also this walking thing, and it's been working. Once a physical activity kind of gets me out of the apartment. Again, with my meeting schedule, there are some days, if I don't have personal training, that I don't really get out of the apartment very much. And, I can tell after a while it tends to like wear down and make me feel really tired. And also the hot shower, again, kind of like just gets my sensory, capabilities out of like, I've been sitting in a chair all day and dealing with people at work. So yeah, I'm also thinking about, how I can transition from some of the difficult situations, I'm in at work. This is like outside of, just building in self-care stuff, but like trying to find more ease in the things that are already going on in my life is like a big part of my self-care. I also wanted to update you all on how my gratitude practice is going. Not very well. So I am trying this new practice, as you may have seen in the spread, which is to just write one-word gratitude statements and to try to get one in a day. I set up my self-care spread so that I have like 6 opportunities to write down gratitude. So I put a check-in on Tuesday and one on Thursday, but I'm just like staring at a blank page in my journal and thinking of something to write has been feeling really oppressive, and so I'm not doing it. And so having like a space in my self-care spread where I can just write down one word is, I think, gonna help remove some of this pressure of like, there's this huge blank page and, I don't know what I'm doing with it. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to try this. Again, you all have, known that my gratitude journey has been quite up and down. I was doing it really consistently for a while. I stopped doing it and I'm trying to get back into it again. This could be, I could actually see this as building in a little bit of, as part of the transition, is like I could see it working as I take a shower, I go on a walk, listen to a podcast, come back, do my gratitude, and like then work on dinner and like relaxing for the evening. So that could potentially be, you know, I think a part of the transition actually. If I can chain these things together, I'm sure you all have heard, you know, some of the habit forming literature that it's good to try to like chain a couple things together, because it helps you keep up with like a bunch of different habits at once. So this could be actually, I will try this. This could be, you know, a way to keep up with gratitude is by chaining it with my transition routines. So yeah, that's what I'm working on in self-care this week. I am curious if you all work on transitions in your, you know, personal life, or if you have a routine down. Would love to hear what's part of your routine. If this is something that you tried and it either has worked or not worked for you, would love to hear like what's worked and not worked. If there's any kind of self-care practices that you all are trying out, you know, for the first time that are really helping, or you've read about or you've heard about, you know, I am always down to learn more about this. Obviously, this is super important, and, you know, my word of the year this year was rest. So I am, you know, trying to focus on how to incorporate more rest into my life. So yeah, we are coming to the end of this spread. I really appreciate you all tuning in every week. Per usual, if you have any questions about the stickers, feel free to write me in the comments or check me out on Instagram. And I will see you all next time. Bye.